we will actually lose for the first time ever in Midnight. Well, look, we already saw what happens, and no spoilers here anymore. Yeah, Xal'atath frees the Dark Naru, okay? It's the fucking big bad that we saw literally using the dagger, right? Her old Xal'atath dagger to do it. By the way, I still think, what the hell's that doing with her? The last time we saw it was with N'Zoth. There's gonna be some storyline that comes out of that. But we saw the release of the Naru. We fucking lose at the end of the raid. But right now, Doran's saying first time ever that we lost. No, we've lost before. I mean, we technically lost to Arthas, but then we get resurrected and shit in that fight. So we've taken some L's, but this might be the biggest one yet. Let's see where the lore is going here, post our current raid, and how this big loss and this big Dark Naru could come back to completely screw us over as we play right into Xal'atath's major plan. Let's see what this video is all about here from Doran.
This legit might be the first time we ever lose in this game. No more expansions where we're just, beating the big bad and then on to the next big thing. So far, based on all the hints, the recent loss in the Voidspire, the data mine stuff, it appears we may be in for our first really major loss. While it might not be Zalotath that wins, she may break something that can no longer be fixed. So far, we have hints of losing some major characters. We have hints for N'Zoth, Ashara, Burning Legion, the Light Army, and most importantly, the Titans. If the Titans are forced to come to Azeroth in person, you know something has gone terribly wrong.
Or terribly right. It's Iridikron's plan all along. He's going to bait the Titans. The master baiter, Iridikron. That's right.
So, what is everything we currently know? And is Midnight going to be the first expansion where we are defeated? So something I found really annoying is having games just all over the place. WoW on Battle.net, Witcher on GOG, and a bunch of others on Steam. Well, PlayTracker.net is the perfect free solution to this as an amazing integration tool. But it's not just that. You can not only organize everything in one single unified profile, but you got unified achievements, all the playtime in one place. You can connect with friends cross-platform, and also a really cool quest and leveling system where you gain XP and levels to unlock a whole bunch of cool features. So connect all the profiles right now with my link in the description below with playtracker.net.
Nice.
This is gonna be something people have actually anticipated.
Rail, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to our Scourge. I'll always say it, man. What a great image this is, as you followed right here. The Lich King beat the shit out of us. He freaking beat us. Really, it was like Ashbringer that freaking saves us in that fight. But at the end of the day, he literally just let us into Icecrown. He let us in. He let us fight all the bosses. He says it was a test. He wanted to see if we were worthy of making it to the Frozen Throne. And then once we did, if we made it that far, he would know these are some of Azeroth's greatest champions. These will be my greatest Death Knights. And he fucking slaughters us. He kills us all in the fight. We lose. And he was resurrecting us. Mid-resurrection, he was turning us into Death Knights. Bam, Ashbringer, freeze Uther, comes down, bam, it breaks the freaking Frostmourne. And that's what we end up happening.
For a long time as a big problem with WoW for really kind of the longest time, that essentially, we get this big threat, seems like a world-destroying threat, and then we defeat them, and then on to the next big thing, and then pretty much just rinse and repeat. After a while, it started losing any sort of legitimacy since we knew that we were going to defeat them as a big bad final boss anyway. Well, Blizzard has talked about it for years about how they're changing that, but Midnight is actually going to be where that is going to be realized. Actually, the perfect opportunity for this in the World Soul Saga. So, as you may have noticed by now, the entire saga is essentially just one mega expansion that leads into the other, and really right now we're very close to the 12.1 PTR. It does appear that this might be the first ever expansion.
Did I say Uther? Yeah, I meant Tyrion. My bad. Tyrion.
We are legit going to lose. They're not like a temporary loss, paladins, like maybe the Broken Shore. Like, we're actually going to full-on lose. It probably won't be a complete defeat, but I don't think this is going to be one of those expansions where we are going to defeat the big bad in the final patch. The reason I don't think that is going to be the case, because so far we actually have a lot of hints, and based on the data mining, we're about halfway through expansion, so we have some info to actually work with. So, the first and the most important hint, and the most obvious one as well, is that famous Chris Metz an interview on the World Soul Saga, mentioning that Zalotath is here to stay throughout the saga. She isn't built to be a one-off villain, plus her whole role as the Harbinger isn't really to be the ultimate evil we have to defeat to save the planet, but it was even implied that she plans to unleash something that is going to spiral out of control, and that it won't be just her that we are going to face. I'm almost certain that this is referring to the Return of the Titans, and it makes complete sense when you think...
Now, I'm thinking, like, what would Zalotath want with the Titans? What's her purpose to use the Titans or whatever? I mean, Zalotath, we know her end goal is survival. That's what she says in her whole, like, origin cinematic is, you know, that life... The journey of life or the goal in life is just to survive. That's what she's been doing this whole time. That's what she wants to continue to do. Now, I've thought about, like, well, okay, what's a being that lives forever? Yeah, the Titans do. The Titans are immortal. So maybe she wants to become a Titan. Maybe she wants to infect the world's soul, become Azeroth. Who knows? But that definitely seems like it could be an end goal for her. Her goal is not to destroy the planets. She doesn't give a shit about destroying things. If we're destroyed, it's just a side, a side piece or a side effect of her reaching immortality. That's her end goal. I think if somebody could grant her immortality tomorrow, she would just leave. She doesn't give a fuck about everything else. It's not really about power for her. She doesn't care. So baiting the Titans out and all that, it could be part of her end goal. I think she wants to become a Titan, personally. But we'll see. And then Eridicron obviously has plans for the Titans if we do bait them out. Supposedly, he knows how to defeat them. At least that's what he thinks.
Sense when you think about it. Remember, the Titans...
Maybe she wants bigger breastises. Yeah, that could be too. That could be it. Yeah, you're right.
Never really walked around on Azeroth. It seems like their whole strategy was based on controlling Azeroth. So times must be really, really desperate when they're going to have to come, not through the Keepers, but in person themselves. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is a few more hints that we have. Like, we have data mined that end campaign that is called War of the Light and the Shadow, and that has been confirmed as well previously, how this will be the final battle of these two forces, which we still don't know what it really means, but seeing that both forces have been battling in world-destroying wars for countless eons, you can imagine that this is going to be a bit more than just some random battlefield in Xal'atath.
Right.
The other thing that already happened at the end of our very first intro in Midnight was the whole Voidspire raid ending that you had pretty much all seen by now. Obviously, I think this is like the Khadgar 2.0 scenario where he didn't really die, he just returned later on, and I don't think Tyrellian and Illyria are gone, but we know that Arthur was saved as the Dark World was created. Now, some spoilers here, of course, but we know how this was fixed. We actually have known this for at least 6 months. We know that the Dark World gets cleansed and it becomes a new type of energy. Spoilers again here, but there have been some hints that a lot of major characters are going to die here. And by the way, don't get me wrong, this...
I don't know if it's a spoiler. I mean, Blizzard said it in multiple interviews already that, some big some big, lore characters are going to die probably in this expansion.
Hasn't been confirmed. There have been some hints that this is just the way Blizzard places them in the files, like they're killable, so it's not confirmed that a lot of these characters are going to be lost, but there has been some talk about it. However, technically, Xal'atath did already defeat Illyria, and also again some spoilers here, and I'll make a full video on this, but there have also been some hints that Illyria could be the final boss of this expansion based on some music that was there.
Undead Paladins to the rescue. I could see Undead Paladins coming back, and for lore reasons, not just like, people want Undead Paladins. I do think that the light, we're realizing the light is willing to do whatever it takes to defeat the void. It'll light blind people, it'll do fucked up shit. We know that now. It just uses people to, basically concentrate and cast itself out on its enemies. So I think the light might get to a point where, Xal'atath's army's gotten so big and powerful that it has to go and basically re-resurrect people to help fight because there's not enough alive people anymore to fight against the void. So yes, undead paladins, more people like Kaliamenethil, basically, resurrected by the light, becoming undead via the light, not necromancy. I think that's going to become more common, which is why, we might see resurrected undead paladins come back to the game for sure.
Music that was data mined, and it's
big
like
fan favorite if it happens.
Mix of her theme combined with void music. Still, despite the Dark World being cleansed, we still don't know Xal'atath's plan, and I gotta admit, it's getting a little bit annoying. I mean, she's slowly starting to become a little bit Jiller-esque villain with the constant taunting and everything, but all we know is that Xal'atath is ancient and she's after the world's soul, but it was never fully explained why Xal'atath, out of all the places, whether us defending Xal'atath is really even going to stop the grand plan. Like, it's obvious she wants something to do with the sword in Zalotath, and that Sargeras, Illidan Titans, and all that stuff is related to Zalotath, and that is going to be what will cross over to Northern. So, while we immediately lose in then when the Sunwell is cleansed, I think what is going to happen is that we're going to beat back the Void invasion of Xal'atath. We get a new Sunwell, Xal'atath is saved, but that is all a distraction that leads us into the finale of the saga, which is really going to be the last Titan. By the way, all these expansions are created. It's obvious that both the War Within and Midnight are really just elaborate setups for the grand finale, which is the final expansion. Another thing I want to quickly mention is this
I actually don't know if we're going to defeat Zalotath on our own. We might need the Titans to defeat her. It's going to be like teaming up with the Titans again, which we did. The last time we did it was with Sargeras. Now maybe Sargeras is the Titan we team up with, though. That would be cool. Or we team up with the Titans, and then the Titans are like, all right, thanks for helping us defeat Zalotath. Now we have to destroy Azeroth. It's too dangerous. We got to take her out, take out Azeroth, and we decide to team up with Illidan and the rest of the boys to defeat the Titans, and that's what ends up happening. And now we're like in a post-Titan world, living on Azeroth, and then we get whatever's coming after the last expansion or the last Titan, because we're gonna have more after the World Soul Saga, and then maybe we deal with the Dreadlords. Hey, maybe the Dreadlords are fully unleashed once the Titans are gone. Maybe that's what becomes the next big bad. But it's definitely heading in that direction. I think Sargeras is going to be potentially the last Titan, the last one to survive that battle. He helps us defeat his brothers and sisters. We'll see.
Tunde guy that I talked about in the previous video that you can check out in great detail. It's super interesting. I'd recommend that you check it out. But the world that is now Voidstorm was called Predacia in the ancient past, and this is some guy that was tasked to create a weapon, and he literally blew up the entire planet. It's in a few ways implied that this might have actually been the homeworld of Xal'atath when she was immortal, and that this cataclysmic event led her to the Void conversion. While we did kind of defeat him in this questline, it was implied that this guy wanted to do the same to Azeroth, and I think the whole
Not you. You think we're going to get some kind of Zalotath redemption arc? Zalotath is going to release something eventually that she can't control. We'll have to fight by her side once again. She will not be redeemed, finding an error in her path. But without redemption, will be taken down anyways. Potentially. I mean, Zalotath's still very, I won't call her human, but she's clearly emotional. We've seen her have emotional moments where, you remember when the Dark Heart got struck, she gets angry. She's definitely had moments of where, well, she's clearly a person with feelings. So I don't know if she ends up getting a redemption arc or anything. Maybe we just never defeat her, and we defeat whatever she was trying to do, and she kind of just disappears off into the nether. Who knows? But idea, Illidan coming back, Sargeras coming back, that's already confirmed by Blizzard. Chris Metzen basically said in an interview, and he said we are not prepared for what is to come. So we'll see. But I can't tell you exactly how Zalotath. There's so many ways they could go with her. Hopefully they just do it right. So far, I think she's been a fun character.
Deal might be a bit more than just a random side quest in Voidstorm, but I digress. The entire point is that by the way things are set up for us is that Xal'atath is really not that big of a deal, like in the grand picture. I don't think the goal ever really was to conquer Xal'atath and take over the Sunwell. I think this is just one step of the plan, and the way it will work is that we will get a temporary victory by freeing Xal'atath and then doing the whole Amani stuff, potentially Forsaken things, and this is our like return to the old world to please the players. But the real big stuff is going to be what is going to happen after this. The biggest bit of evidence is, as I said, the Titans are coming to Azeroth in person. All of them, and as Iridikran said, we will see their true face, implying that they're not coming to save the world from the void and bring peace to the world, but to accomplish their mission and do something. Now, something has to have royally gone wrong, so terribly wrong for the entire Titan Pantheon to have to come to Azeroth in person. I'm talking
it's gonna be some kind of
end of the world scenario,
thing.
like something really bad, and I think this end of the world scenario is going to get triggered by our ultimate loss in Midnight. I don't think necessarily Xal'atath is going to be the main villain anymore. It might even be possible that we could defeat Xal'atath at the end of Midnight. I don't discount the possibility that we could legit beat her in the end of this expansion, but it is definitely possible that she's going to break the mechanism that is kind of holding the universe together. I mean, right now we have hints of N'Zoth potentially returning, Ashara. We got some Burning Legion hints at the same time, actually multiple Burning.
We're getting like a greatest hits world tour soon. I mean, N'Zoth's probably coming back. Yes, the Naga are coming back. Ajara. We got Sargeras, as I mentioned, coming back. So there's a lot of big boy characters coming back for the end of this thing. It's going to be an Avengers Assemble moment.
Legion hints. The recent cosmology charts imply that Azeroth may be holding the fabric of the universe together, and the way realms function, and then at the end of midnight we lose, she breaks this mechanism and starts the Ragnarok, the end times, and then literally every single group, every single villain out there in the universe, every single army comes at the same time in absolute chaos. It even makes sense with Ragnarok, like Northrend and everything, like the entire team. And so far, this type of like end world scenario in Northrend seems more plausible by the day as we get more and more evidence. Thanks for watching. Check out how is that the Alliance never managed to actually recover Lordaeron by clicking on the screen, and check out my brand new Witcher lore channel that I recently opened by clicking on the screen as well. See you next time!
No redemption arc, just finding the error and still being rejected. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing with Xal'atath. I could see that happening. I don't know if we're gonna kill her. I don't know. But definitely the Titan's coming back. It's guaranteed. I mean, we already know that literally the Titan, last Titan expansion title. So the Titans are coming back, which means she's going to beat the shit out of us. She's going to be close to getting her hands on the World Soul. I think that's the only reason they would come back. They don't give a fuck about us. They're not going to come back to save us. We already know that. They literally have a freaking re-origination button where they could just wipe us out in a second. So the Titans are only coming back to save the World Soul. How she ends up affecting it or what she's going to do to it, we'll find out probably by the end of midnight. But overall, I like where the lore is going. I'm interested to see where it goes next. Nice video here from Doran.